Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Thanks for tuning in. We are hanging out tonight. This is a new experiment for us. I guess the whole Twitch thing is a new experiment for me in general. So thanks for showing up.
Yay.
On that note, I did just get my affiliate email yesterday night. So thank you very much to everybody who has helped me with that, who's been hanging out with me, who's given me advice. It's much appreciated. Still working on content. Hi, Sidwee. How are you? Hi, Mayor Bear. That's Meredith.
Hi, friends.
Hi, everybody. So on that note of people that we kind of know, we probably are going to avoid talking about some real personal stuff because we know a lot of the people that are watching and we don't want to talk trash behind people's backs or anything like that. So
Let's do that when we get off the show. It's fine.
Exactly. We'll just cover the microphone.
Let's do that tonight later. It's
yeah.
fine.
No. So one of the things that I'm working on is content, and one of the things that came to my mind was, what can I do? What do I know? What things do I like? What are my hobbies? And one of those things was, wait a second, I went to grad school for family therapy. How can I incorporate that into this? And what occurred to me was that Sarah and myself have been married for 12 and a half years. And we've been together for 16 and a half years. We met in college and hung out for a while. I dated, got engaged. Some life stuff happened and delayed getting married, and then eventually got married. Disclaimer, right? I went to grad school. I am not a therapist in any way, shape, or form. So anything that we're about to talk about are weird ideas that I've had or things that have worked for the two of us. Not in any way intended to be clinical or therapeutic or anything like that. So take everything we say with a grain of salt, knowing that, yes, we've been in a very, very long-term successful relationship. So, that said, do you want to say anything about yourself?
About myself?
Yeah. Who the hell are you?
I'm your wife. I am Sarah. Hi to Bobby's friends who I've never met before, because there's a lot of you out there that I've never met before. Yeah, I've been married to this guy for a long time. Not quite half my life yet. We haven't gotten to that point. We do have 2 dogs in the area with us, so you may see us trying to fend them off. And I'm sure no one cares. I don't know. What do you want me to say about myself?
That's all.
Just who I am,
yeah.
and that I'm married to you.
Yeah, and that you're unfortunately married to me.
I am. I have proof. Mm-hmm.
Who's me? Who's me? That's me. I'm Bobby. So at any rate, with that said, we've thought about what topics do we want to talk about. We can talk about umpteen million things, right? In 16 and a half years, we've seen a lot. And through all of that, we've still managed to maintain a loving, healthy relationship. And so tonight, what I wanted to start with was, how did we know that we were, quote unquote, the one for one another? And that leads me to this really kind of ass backwards thought that I had back when I was in grad school. And that is, look, obviously nobody's perfect, right? We know that. And so this expectation that we have as a society of, I'm going to find the perfect person. Let's be real, that doesn't exist, right? We have to admit that. That you're never going to find a perfect person. And I think sometimes that leads people to thinking, if I don't find the perfect person, then I'm going to try and mold this person and shape them into the person that I want to be, even though I know they're not perfect, right? Which gets you into a lot of trouble because, yes, there are things that you and I have had issues with each other.
Yes.
And we've worked on those things.
Yes.
So that's not to say that you can't do those things, but that's a collaborative effort. That's a team.
Marriage is work.
Right.
And if you're not working on your marriage, you're just avoiding the conversation.
Right.
Which is not good.
But also, if you were to say, here's the thing I'm having trouble with in this relationship with you or whatever, and the person just flat out is like, no, I don't care, I'm not changing. You're not going to change that person, right? When you and I work on something together, it's a collaboration. We're working on a 4-hour relationship for the sake of the other person.
Yes, like Meredith said, compromise.
Right.
There's got to be compromise, or
Right.
it's just not going to work. Yes.
So keep that in mind. But the whole idea was not, we're going to find the perfect person, or I found the perfect person. How did I know I found the one? And again, very ass backwards and pessimistic, but it is the most pragmatic thing I could think, which was, I found the person whose shit I'm willing to put up with for the rest of my life and love them despite that, right?
Yep.
That's the other part of it is yes, we're going to talk about a list of 10 things I hate about you. We each have 5. We probably could have come up with 10, but we're going to talk about those things. And the point is, we love each other despite those things. And some of these things are pretty major, and, if we'd have known these things up front, maybe things would have gone differently, quite frankly. But I look at it as kind of a scale, right? Over the years, we've had all of these good things. If you look at like a balancing thing, we've had all of these good things, and then we have a couple of bad things, and eventually all of those good things over 16 and a half years have to outweigh these things, right? So that's kind of my plan. Sorry, I was just reading chat.
I mean, there's always like the things that, there's always the good things, right? Like, oh, he's so nice to me, and he's so kind to my mom, and he brought my grandma a gift when he met her. Like, there's all these, like, there's always the nice things, and those are always important too. But, you have to still, like, be who you are as a person, and if your partner can't accept that, I mean, there's compromise, but you got to work on all the stuff, not just look at the happy, pretty stuff.
And there are studies out there that say the butterflies, quote unquote, that we feel, that sort of physiological response that we get to people when we first meet them and first start dating them, that can last for up to a year and a half. And a lot of people say during those times that we tend to ignore these things that we don't like about people unless they're like really glaringly obvious things, right? For example, I dated a girl that was a smoker once.
Ew.
Very clear that was an issue for me because I'm not a smoker and I didn't really like it, right? But I put up with it for a little bit. Eventually there were some other things that we just decided wasn't going to work. But oftentimes these things aren't so obvious to us, or some of these things that Sarah and I are going to talk about, we didn't maybe know until we moved in together, which was like a month before we got married. So
Yeah. Good choice.
Why doesn't Sarah get the comfy chair red flag?
Because this isn't my office. So in our house, we have in the downstairs there's a bedroom that has 2 walk-in closets, and our offices are the walk-in closets. So this is Bobby's office and mine is the other closet. And we decided to not try and like do a Zoom thing and like get too complicated and just be in the same office together. And he's got all equipment, and there's enough room to put my comfy chair in here anyway.
We have a comfy chair. It's just the chair's so big it doesn't fit. This is a very little closet. It's like
It's
8
a closet.
foot by 6 foot.
I mean,
it's literally a walk-in closet.
It's a closet. Yeah. Yes. All right.
Do you want to start or should I?
I'll start.
Okay.
So I feel like this is, here's the thing. A lot of you are probably going to have similar things on your lists, and that's, as long as your partner knows about it, you can talk about it. My number one thing on my list is your damn cell phone.
What?
So I don't know if you guys, if those who know Bobby, know that Bobby's all over social media. He's on Facebook. He's been doing the social media thing since he started working in car sales, which was
almost 12 years ago?
Yeah, something like
yeah.
I don't know, something
11.
like that. I mean, it's been
11,
a while.
yeah,
It's been a long
11 years.
time, like a decade. And that was how he got customers. That's how he got sales. That's how he built his business.
Same, I'm with you,
yes.
Bobby.
Got his business up and got his customers, and that's how he like made a name for himself in the car business, the car world. But that never went away. He's just always on his phone. So I would like, you're on it all the time. First of all, it's impossible to have a conversation with you. Like, hey, so today I talked to so and so and blah blah blah. Oh, and your mom called and blah 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 blah. So what do you think about?
Sorry, I was reading chat.
It's like your cell phone.
Yeah,
but it's on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, it's like a 30-second
joke?
like 30 seconds later, and then what? And then I have to repeat everything I just said, which is, I don't even know why I keep doing it, quite frankly. Like, part of it's my own fault. Like, I should just stop trying to have conversations with you when you're on your phone. But, you know, when I say, and then just today.
You could like, put your hand up and then wait to be called on.
No. That when you're not looking at me, it's really hard for you to see that my hand is raised.
That's like you trying to talk to Ryan.
Well, yes. And like just tonight, I'm like, oh my God, look at what Lucas is doing. Lucas is our son. Oh my gosh, look, he's doing something funny. Look. Hey, look. Hey. It's over. And he's on his, it's like, yes, it's a huge pet peeve. His mom makes his mom crazy. Your dad though.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
His dad had this BlackBerry, and your mom, if she had a chance, she would have throttled it through out a window. I mean, but it was like on him all the time. So I'm not surprised that you were also a technology junkie, but it's a problem.
And I hate it. I will admit it is, and you're right, got it from my dad, right? It is mostly business and or some sort of thing related where I'm trying to, quite frankly, generate attention for myself. I don't know. That's just how I am.
And then here I am trying to give you attention. Like, I'm trying to talk to you and like be like, hi, how was your day? How was work? Like, show interest in your life, and you're trying to find attention on face. Hello. Okay, that's my number one.
That's your number one.
Yeah. But I love you anyway.
Yes.
Is that how we're going to end all the things?
Yes, that's how we're going to end all of these things. Because that's the list. Now, this list once upon a time had a different name, but I'm not allowed to call it that because on Twitch you cannot insinuate violence, especially like domestic violence, so we're not going to go there.
If you want to know what it is, ask us after the show. We'll tell you what it's called.
So, first one on my list would be that you are so messy. It is ridiculous. Your desk is a disaster. Your car is a disaster. When we were moving, this became real apparent when we were moving 2.5 years ago.
Almost 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, we'd have been preparing to move now 3 years ago. Yeah. So, at any rate, it became real apparent how messy and disorganized you were, and there were times where you were gone and I was home cleaning.
I was gone for 5 days at camp interpreting, and I came home.
And I was trying to clean the house, and it occurred to me, oh my God, there is stuff all over this house, and I was just trying to clean stuff and organize it and get into boxes. And it occurred to me, like, how much of this stuff we don't need and how much of stuff is just sitting around and how much clustered it is. And so when we moved from a small townhouse to a fairly large single-family home. And now that we have all this extra space, I kind of had to come up with this rule where I was like, okay, absolutely no more than 3 things in a row on a shelf. Or 5 things, whatever it was.
I was
some
never told
limited
this
number.
Rule.
With the little hutch outside
my collectibles hutch.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was like, okay, no more than like 4 or 5 things on one shelf at one time, because otherwise, like your desk, which we don't have that rule for because it's your desk, whatever.
But
fine.
I cleaned it when I had to do distance learning.
But there are, I don't know, 20 or 30? Seiko Cindy, thank you for the follow. There's probably 15 pictures on your desk that are just like sitting in like an unorganized mess.
Like 8. Calm down. It's
whatever.
Like 8.
There's a lot.
Calm down.
Beer behind me. Yes, there is a lot of
empty
collectibles behind me. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that is definitely one of my big things. Sort of 1.5 on my list, because it kind of goes with the messiness and poor organization, is your really bad spatial reasoning. Every time we load the dishwasher, I get frustrated, and I look at the dishwasher, and I'm like, what? Why would you? What? No!
You're loading it wrong. Totally loading it wrong.
And okay, but in my defense, I can move that. I can move the dishwasher or rearrange it and fit like way more stuff in it.
Maybe.
Now, to back that up, and in fairness, There is not a. This is not a study. This is just somebody's theory, and it's kind of amusing to me. There is a theory that somebody came up with that men are better at spatial reasoning. I'm sure there are probably studies out there that might have actually like attempted to show this, but this theory was this. This theory was that men are better at spatial reasoning because we're taught at a very young age to pee in a toilet standing up. And therefore, we have to aim, and we have to know how far that's going to arc to go into a toilet. And therefore, better with space.
You're going to teach Lucas that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Because that's not my skill area, clearly.
No, that's the thing. You get these little, like, floaty things
Yeah,
just stick in the
Cheerios.
toilet. And,
Sure.
Yeah, or
Whatever.
Cheerios, yeah. Whatever. Same thing. Yeah.
And yes, I would like to just agree with Meredith on that, you know, women are social creatures and we are community builders, and I care more about the photos that are in our house than Bobby does. Like, if we had no photos up, if we had like a photo of our dogs, a photo of our kid, a photo of us, that would probably be more than enough for him.
But we had a lot of pictures in our house of us, which made me feel like we were kind of full of ourselves.
We didn't have a kid till now.
Which, hang on, leads me to your second point. Or one of your points, right?
This one?
Oh, yes, Meredith. Sarah definitely manages the social calendar.
Oh, that leads to number 2, actually.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Meredith.
let's talk about that.
Thank you, Meredith. Number 2 on my list, forgetfulness. So I have to manage our calendar because this one
Because I have brain
nothing.
damage,
Stop.
okay?
Stop it. No. True. He was in a really bad car accident about 5.5 years ago, rolled a car 4 times across a ditch, had a brain injury, fractured some vertebra, his collarbone, whatever. Hit his head a few times. But this was before that. This was not just since your accident.
I have always had a very, very poor short-term memory.
Yes.
In addition to, I didn't hear you, so, it didn't go in, and then, like, yeah.
Hey, can you take out the garbage bag that's sitting right there, right now, as you're walking away from it? Leaves garbage bag behind.
And look, folks, none of these things that she's talking about are things that I will not, like, own up to.
Right. His mom and his sister really quickly realized that if they wanted to ask at all if we were available for anything, they just came to me directly. Like, not even a group chat, not necessary, just straight to me. Are you guys available on this day to get together and have dinner or whatever? So yes, I do take care of our social calendar. However, it can also be very exhausting to keep track of my stuff and your stuff and our stuff. It's a lot. And then I get really mad because I have a calendar in the kitchen that I have stuff written on. What are we doing this weekend? Look at the we also have a shared Google Calendar, people. A shared... What time are you working? Look at the calendar. Like, just do it. It's not that hard. Sorry. Yes. This is beginning to sound... This is a coworker of mine who's saying that this is sounding very familiar to her life. Yay! Would you like to proceed with your number 2?
Yes. Moving on to mine. Wait, you didn't finish with...
Oh, but I love you anyway. You didn't say that before either.
But I love you. You are so fucking messy and disorganized and cluttered. But I love you anyway.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Moving on to my number 2. You spend a lot of money when we don't have it necessarily, and it's not like it's lots of little things here and there where you're trying to be cute, you're trying to be aware of things that I might want, or like you'll bring dessert, or like
okay, wait a minute, stop.
You'll bring like a pop when you go out to but it's little things here and there and that add up, or
yes,
you fall victim to, but I had a coupon.
Yes.
And they were 3 for $8. Well, great, 0 is $0.
Cartwheel was 20% off. I mean, why not? It was on sale, right? I do that. I've gotten better.
You have gotten better.
I've gotten much better about it.
And this is one of those things that, like, we talk about. It's a collaborative effort, right? It's one of those things where we've talked about. This is something that we need to get straightened out, right? Because it's our personal finances together. We share accounts. We each have our own money as well on top of that, but that's a whole other story. Actually, no, that's not.
Yes, Ashton. Coupon safe.
Ours, mine, and yours, right? A lot of people talk about when they talk about couples and how do you finance things and whatever, right? We do have separate accounts. Things are a little tight now with COVID and all that jazz, so we don't necessarily do a whole lot of that. We're just trying to pay the bills, but we do have 3 different accounts. One is her money, one is the pay the bills money, and one is my money. So. There's a lot of talk about in family therapy about, like, you know, how do you divide finances, right? So that's one possible solution to those things.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if you were wrapping up. I wanted to remind you to tell me that you love me, but continue if you're not done.
Yeah. So a lot of like the coupons where it was like, oh yeah, I spent $8 instead of $0 when you could have just bought none of those things.
I will say. And my mom may or may not be watching. I know she wanted to watch. I'm not sure if she's watching. Hi, Mom. But my mom, I grew up in a coupon house. Like, my mom would go grocery shopping, and she would shop with an envelope. She'd put the coupons in the envelope and write her list on the outside of the envelope. And that's how she remembered what coupons she had. And then she could, you know, what is it? $1 off of 2 or whatever it is. So I just grew up in a home of coupons. So obviously, if I'm using a coupon,
it must be better.
It's better. It's okay. I have a coupon. And I have a good friend who's a coupon queen. But she, I think, legitimately saves money when she does her couponing because she does it pretty intently.
She does. Well, and that's because she goes, here are the things that we actually need and planning to buy. Here's the coupons for those things, and here's the stores that I need to go to in order to get the discounts for those things that we actually are planning to buy. Yours is more, oh, I have a coupon for this? Great, I'll take some of those, even though we don't need them.
Yes, Meredith, that is our situation as well. I'm the shopper. Like, I do the weekly trip, whatever. I'm the shopper for our basic needs, our groceries, things around the house, and I'm not the primary earner of the two of us. So you're right. That can be a very interesting dynamic. Not in a bad way. Not like but it is an interesting dynamic because I know what we need, and he's like, but this is our budget.
Yeah, you don't have coupon like envelopes. You literally just had like
I used to
paper envelopes, right? Sid, were you talking about those accordions with the little binder thingies?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
No, my mom had like a box, like, you know, those plastic boxes with the A, B, C, D, but whatever. Like file things, but then she used like a letter envelope that you would send, like, you know, just this envelope. That's what she would use. So she'd go shopping, and it worked for her. What?
So, my number 2 is you spend way too much money on little things that we don't actually need. But I love you anyway.
Thank you. Yes, Carly, that's correct. I get this. Can't send him shopping unless you expect to get several phone calls. Yes. My number 3 is your arrogance.
Guilty.
So, I adore my husband. You all, obviously, like, we're here laughing about this, all this crazy stuff. Bobby, another thing that he got from his dad, loved his father.
Also guilty.
May he rest in peace. I love your father. But that's where you get your personality, a lot of your personality from is your dad, and it was something that I struggled to, like, maneuver with your dad too. You know, you just have to be right all the time. You think that you're better than people sometimes. You know, sometimes a little condescending. You know, but I have gotten much better at calling you out on it when it's happening. Like saying, hey, okay, take it down a notch. Like, let's take it down.
If anyone's wondering why I didn't decide to be a therapist, that has a lot to do with it.
Yes. Yes. I mean, he's, and it's not always a bad thing. Like, he's very confident in who he is as a person. Sometimes it's not arrogance. Sometimes it's just confidence in who he is as a person.
It's a very, very, very fine line.
It is.
And it's a fine line that I oftentimes find myself straddling and stepping over.
Yes. Which stepping over is like number 5 on my list. We'll get there later. But you are arrogant / confident. You have to
So many therapists are arrogant. That doesn't seem like a good quality in a therapist.
No, it doesn't. Confidence, and I mean, knowing your shit is a good thing. Like, if you are an expert in something, I don't remember what we were talking about. I just remember, like, this one time I got really, really mad at you about your arrogance, and it had something to do with a comment you made or about sign language or deaf people. Side note, my parents, my brother are deaf. I am a sign language interpreter. And side note, he said something and I just went off on him. I said, you can think you're right about everything else. Never tell me you know more about sign language than me. Never tell me you know more about deaf people than me. And I just flipped my lid on him. He's like, okay, never again has questioned anything I have to say about sign language or deaf culture. We've had conversations about it, but he's never been like, you're wrong. So that's the one like subject that he can't. That and Zumba are 2 things that he can't tell me that he knows more than me about. So you can be really arrogant sometimes, but I love you anyway.
Again, I'll admit it. It's just how I am.
Yes.
We're on to number 3.
Is that, have
right?
you gotten to 3?
No, you just did number 3,
did 3,
right? Poor memory, brain damage, remember.
Stop it.
My number 3 for you is that you make a lot of stuff up, like out of thin air.
But can you qualify that? Like, I don't...
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. It's not making stuff up to lie about things. It's not making stuff up. It's just kind of pulling explanations for things out of your butt that really don't make any sense or have any like logical conclusion to them. Now, in your defense, the way that the human brain is wired is that we fill things in when we don't know stuff, right? Like literally our brains do that. We see things and our brains will fill parts in that our eyes haven't seen because it's just making that connection of, oh, I know your face. I've seen enough of it enough times that sometimes if I just happen to see you passing by, I know it's your face because your brain is designed to do that. It's designed to fill in information. Sometimes people's brains make really silly things up. I'm trying to think of examples.
So it's come up a lot more recently with Lucas because... Because...
Can I pause for a second?
Oh.
Okay, so we are new parents. Lucas is 6 months old.
Almost. Next Wednesday.
Yeah, almost 6 months old. First child, and so there's a lot of things that we just don't know.
Despite the fact that almost all of my married friends who are my age have children. Some of them are in middle school already. You know, it's not like I don't have resources. It's not like I haven't heard all of these things that I'm going through before from them. So, yes, we are new parents. And I think I want to feel like I know what I'm doing. And so sometimes I will do that. I will make something up. Like if, I don't know, like Lucas is he's in a grunting phase right now. So if he's making weird...
I mean, he'll do that for like 20 minutes in bed now. Yes. It's kind of funny.
Yes. And so we should, I wonder if maybe he, you know.
Yes, he gets it from me. Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe he's, this or this, or maybe, you know what, I bet it's this, and I bet it's because of this, and when it really probably is none of those things. Like, it's probably just him trying to do something that he can't do. And so he's grunting about it because he's mad. Whether it's trying to poop, or trying to roll over, or whatever. But there probably isn't, like, a series of events that led up to that grunt. but I want to feel like I know what he's going through, so I make up something.
But again, I think that is part of the way the human brain works sometimes, is we're trying to assign some sort of meaning to something or some sort of explanation to something because our brains are just uncomfortable with not knowing.
And I deal with a lot of with anxiety and stress. I've come a very long way. I think if we had done this
super long way
stream 8 years ago, that would have been on his list of things. How I deal with my stress and anxiety. It's gotten much better. But I think that when I'm having a moment, I try and well, it's because of this and this, and maybe it's this, and maybe it's this. And he's like, shut up. You're pulling that out of your ass. That is not what's going on. That's not even close. So that's maybe... we probably should have had more concrete examples before we
should have
put that
out. But again, okay, they're not lies. They're not like things that you're making up to try and get out of trouble or
no.
They're just little silly things where I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
They're not worth remembering. Now they're writing down to me do you remember that time when you said what? No.
Right, because we have no examples. Right. So you never wrote any of them down. So that's cool.
Ready for me to add one to your list?
Oh, you guys. I can't. Stealing my nutritional value items.
Yeah, beer's real nutritional value. Uh-huh.
Drinks. His beer.
It's empty.
That's not my problem.
I can't get up.
That's not my...
We're broadcasting.
Oh, you are. Should have had two or a bigger glass. He will steal fries, crackers, whatever I have. Yes, I should add that to my list. Okay. Do you want to finish your...
Yes, you make stuff up for the silliest of fucking reasons, but I love you anyway.
All right. Oh, number 4. The next few I just wrote down the thing and I don't have examples. If you couldn't tell, my husband's a gamer. I'm ready for the chat. I'm ready, ladies. I'm ready for the chat. Because I know there are a lot of you out there. I know, not a lot. We have thousands of followers. I know there's a handful of you out there.
No, but I'm going to tell you this. There's a lot of people in the chat, especially women, who are also gamers.
Okay, fine. My friends who are ladies who are not gamers, whose partners are, is what I should... Sorry, I'll rephrase my statement. I think that, and this is going to come up later in one of Bobby's, hobbies are great. Hobbies are important. But Bobby has been gaming since we started dating. And I think part of the bad taste in my mouth with gaming has to do with other things related, people, not so much gaming. And that has changed. But he also takes up a lot of your time. And you want to game all the time. And what about me?
Proud nerd achievement. P.S. Speaking of when we met and playing since you've known me, my World of Warcraft / played time is somewhere in the neighborhood of 430 days. Consecutive if you add it all up in time.
Cool. I don't have a problem with gaming per se. I think that it has, for a long time, been a sticking point in our relationship because it did take up a lot of your time for many years. You were pretty heavily into it, like you just said, obviously, but for a long time. It's not as bad now. It's gotten better probably in the last 5 years. But I think as we're developing more common interests, which oddly enough don't have a lot of common interests, which we're don't have a lot of things that we're commonly interested in.
So here's the thing, though. We have a lot of common values and things that we want in life, things that we want to achieve. So it's not oh, we do all these things together. Now we'll talk about that in a minute, but
okay, so Meredith, our problem is the opposite. She's saying that Ryan is basically me, where he wants to sit together and watch TV.
Okay.
And Meredith can only do it for so long. That's the opposite. Like, I could sit in front of Netflix. I'm currently watching Riverdale on Netflix. Don't judge. Or judge. It's fine. I also watch all the Real Housewives franchises. I just do. So, he just, we have a few common shows. A lot of them have ended, which is really part of the frustrating things. We had so many things to watch together, and, like, all the shows ended.
I know, they're all gone. Like, we picked these shows, and then all of a sudden, like, 2 seasons later, they're done, or whatever. So we dated a guy that was into sports. Yeah, that would not go well for me either if you were, like, a big sports ball person.
I like sports.
More than I do, to a large degree.
I go to more sporting events than you do. That is true. So yeah, gaming was on my list because it, like I said, it did take up a lot of his time for many years, and I never really knew how to approach him about it because he was so into it, and so I felt like if I brought it up, like, hey, can you not game so much? He would get, like, annoyed, because he did when I would bring it up. But I like it. It's my hobby. You need more hobbies, which is coming up. It's on your list, I know. And I do. But yeah, so it was just more so of took up a lot of your time that I wasn't getting. And I think now, especially now that we have such limited time where him and I can do things, the two of us, I mean, our kid's in bed at 7:30 and we have this short window of time where we can, like, hang out somewhat uninterrupted, like, and we're hanging out with you guys tonight, which is great. But yeah, gaming. You're a gamer, and that's fine, and it makes me crazy sometimes because you broadcast and you ignore my text messages, and it frustrates me. But I love you anyway.
Folks, you don't want me streaming, and all of a sudden my phone's going bing, 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 bing. That's annoying and not good content.
I don't really care about people who are watching you play games. Like, I'm trying to get a hold of you to help me with the dogs. Like, I don't really care that people that I don't know are bothered by your phone going off. I might know some of you. I don't know who watches him. I don't. I don't.
You watch on Sunday with the beer podcast.
It's a beer podcast. It's not.
P.S. Anybody watching? We did hit 50 followers, which was my goal. For the people who watch the podcast to vote for the name of the podcast. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about that on Sunday, and we'll figure out how we do submissions for that.
Oh yes. Thank you, Meredith, for bringing that up. Yes. There was a time where it was like scheduled. I have WoW at 7:00, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, the scheduled stuff that made me crazy, like bad shit. So, yes, that's one of the things. I still love you. Anyway,
Invited a bunch more people to the channel. Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Beer people, I'm assuming.
Any people.
Well, yes, any people, but yes, I'm assuming beer people.
Yes, and eventually you turned to also joining a guild or a group of gamers, for those who don't know what that means.
I think pretty much all of them do.
I have friends who are watching that don't know gaming things.
Okay, fine, fair.
Even if they are with gamers, they may not know gaming things. Next on your list.
But
I said it like 3 times already. I love you anyway.
Okay. All right. I didn't hear you. See, again, listening, memory. Now you know why this is on her list.
You're seeing it live, friends.
Yeah, right? Meredith says, oh, and sorry, Sarah, we're trying to put a D&D game together.
No. You know what? Here's the thing. That's actually okay. I can't explain it. Why that's okay. I thought it was going to be really weird at first, and it did bring me, like, kind of back to those old days of, like, I never get to see you because you're gaming all the time. But I've come to realize that is a time, especially now that our time as being ourselves is limited. That doesn't bother. It's once a week, and as long as it's not, like, taking up your whole Saturday or your whole Sunday, good with it.
Fair enough. Number 4 on my list. We just talked about this. is that you don't have enough hobbies.
Nope.
And I feel like for you, it's important, especially with some of like the anxiety and stuff that you've had in the past, that you have an outlet for some of that stuff. And yes, I get it. Sometimes just chilling on the couch, snuggling with the dogs or Lucas or whatever, having a beer, great, cool, right? But I feel like that can't be your only outlet, right? One of the things you do Zumba.
Mm-hmm. I do. I teach Monday nights. Let me know if you want information. Virtually.
Yes, virtually right now via Zoom.
Yeah.
So hit Sarah up after if you want more information about that.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's basically it. When I think what are Sarah's hobbies, it's basically Zumba. You used to run. You don't really do that much anymore.
No, I did a half marathon that did not go well in my mind. I finished it, and for most people that would be like, who don't run or who do, or like, oh my god, you moved your body 13.1 miles. But I was not happy with how it went because I was injured while I was training and it didn't go great. My time was not what I wanted. So I kind of stopped. And I always said that after I had a child, I wanted to try again to do another half marathon. And that still holds true. I still do. I just have to figure out how to ease my new self, my post-child body into running again. Now that it's nice out.
Yeah, but now you're lighter then.
I am lighter, but I still have a lot of weight on my... I have plantar fasciitis. I have things. We don't need to go there. But yeah. That is something I do want to get back into. But I feel like that might have been...
Elise and Savannah are going to crochet.
Guys. Okay, we just talked about this before the show. I think part of my thing with hobbies is I feel like hobbies have to be creative. I know they don't. But in my mind, hobby equals a creative outlet. So I feel like it has to be crafty. I am not crafty. I tried scrapbooking. The last and only thing I've ever scrapbooked was from a wedding in 2005. That's it. That's in the book. That's all in the book. So, yes, there's so many things happening right now. Hold on. I'm going to do a crochet and beer group after quarantine.
So here's the thing about crochet and beer, though, right? Mm-hmm. So a friend of ours, a friend of ours that used to do a crocheting group, and they called it Stitch and Bitch.
Oh.
Where it basically just turned into them sitting around drinking wine and just bitching about things in general. It wasn't actually that... I don't know that she ever brought anything home that she had actually done beyond, like, a scarf one time, maybe.
Yes, Meredith, my dogs are everything. Like, I love them. We have... I have to say, for those who don't know, because maybe a lot of you do know, we have two dogs. We have Nemo.
Andy says stamp collecting.
I did read it. I did read that. Andy wants me to stamp collect. I don't think I'll be doing that, Andy, but thank you for the offer. Maybe I'll take up bagpipes.
It's not a bagpipe.
Oh, right, an Irish pipe.
It's the Irish version of it.
I'll take up pipe playing. I don't know what to call it, but I will take that up. And I'll come to your house and we'll do lessons together and we'll drive Carly crazy together. We have a Corgi Terrier mix who's 13 named Nemo. And we have a 1.5, almost 2-year-old Corgi named Chewbacca, Chewy for short. I adore my dogs, yes. They're all over my social media. They're I love them. I adore them. They're my babies. So yes, snuggling with them sometimes, and there is something to be said for just that de-stressing part of being around animals, which I know that you agree with that. Like, I'm not saying that you think that's a crock.
No, it isn't. But again, I feel like you should have, because part of that is like, I have these hobbies, I have these things that I call my own, that they're things that I do that are part of my life and things that I enjoy and who I am, right? Like, and I don't feel like you have those things. Not that activities are necessarily who you are per se. Like, you know, if you're going to do the who am I game, right? Like, you don't get if somebody said, well, who am I? I'm a teacher. Like, well, no, your job is a teacher. Who are you, right?
Right.
That whole game.
Sorry.
But
Chewie just bumped his head on the desk. Everything's fine. Yes, I mean, I have like my iPad games that I play, like not quite Candy Crush, but like Farm Heroes Saga, like those, you know, Match 3, Match 4. I play those games. I don't know if they're hobbies.
oh my God, it's Jackie Chan and Amy Farrah Fowler.
Oh, well, sort of. Hi, Chewie.
He's not on camera.
No, he's not on camera, but he's here. Yes, I do like to read. And I was telling Bobby that I want to get into reading more, and oddly enough, I'm reading a book called Fringe Hour by Jessica Turner, which is a fabulous book. There's Chewie. Here's Chewie. Oh, watch the chat blow up. Here it goes. Chewie Fluey. Hi, Chewie Fluey. Are you gonna kiss me on camera? Oh. I was hoping. Yes, no, exactly. Reading is a hobby. I've really gotten away from it. I love to read. But I'm reading a book called Fringe Hour, and it's about how to how to find and fill the empty pockets in your day with things you enjoy doing.
Like reading books about how to fill the empty time in your life.
Right. So I think now that we have Lucas...
That's very meta.
And he's starting to get... he's on a more of a schedule, and his naps are more predictable. I can sort of try and have a more of a designated, like, reading time. I do read before bed every night, but I also kind of just read to fall asleep. Like, I read fluff books, which is fine. I love fiction. I love reading fiction and fluffy garbage, but that's what I read to fall asleep to. Yes, all the
that's
comments.
my number 4. You don't have enough shit that you like in your life and to keep you occupied, but I love you anyway.
Thank you, appreciate that. To add to that, I will take suggestions of things that you all enjoy doing that you might sense from this conversation that I might also enjoy doing. The most physical I get is Zumba and running. I'm not really we used to be on a volleyball team in the summer. I missed that volleyball. That was a lot of fun. We did that every summer, and that was super cool, but sports is not really my thing. But, yeah.
And we were not...
We were not great.
We were not good.
But we had
It was
fun.
still fun. Right. It was one of those things where,
blast.
like, it was fun despite the fact that we were terrible, but, you know.
Yes, Meredith, the book club, that would be fun. Yes, that would force me to read more. And more than just the books that I have to read for my job, which is in a high school. Those books are fun, but...
Okay, but if you were part of a book club, timeout, there was, who was it? Dr. Meany in undergrad talked about this.
Psych professor.
Yes, one of our psych professors. That's where we met in college. We were both in the psychology program, but we met.
Where we met, but yes.
No, that's not where we met, but just coincidentally. This professor told a story about Book It. If anyone remembers Book It, that program where you had to read a certain number. Yes, exactly. But what it was saying was that when you reward some people, they stop after they've gotten their reward. So if you were normally a kid that would read 15 books in a summer, but the requirement to get the Pizza Hut party was 12, a lot of those kids then just stopped and said, oh, I got my reward, fuck it, I'm done. Even though normally they would have read 3 additional books throughout the summer.
Savannah, I'm with you. I probably had like 4 buttons at one time. Like, I just kept reading because...
Oh, I'm shaking the whole camera.
You are shaking the camera. We're in an earthquake. We're not in California. I loved to read as a kid. Like, growing up, loved reading. Still, I got that from my grandma. My grandma was a huge reader. I started reading... She read Harry Potter before I did. And so when she passed away, I got her... she bought the hardcover, the big, solid hardcovers of 5, 6, and 7. And I got all of those when she passed away. And I hold them very close to my heart. But I loved reading growing up. And so I would have... I think each button had 5 stars. 5. amateur hour. I had like 4 at one time, but my mom and dad couldn't get to Pizza Hut quickly enough for me to use all my buttons and get all those personal pan pizzas. We tried to use them on my brother because he was not a reader. But that was, book it. Man, good times.
Sorry, random tangent about books and rewarding people for things, and yeah, I don't know.
Yes. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn. Number 5.
Number 5. Number 5. Bobby has a problem with interrupting me when I talk. I'm waiting for him.
I was gonna interrupt her, but
I'm waiting for him to interrupt me.
It's true. I have this problem with interrupting people, and again, none of these things are things that I won't like admit to readily.
And it's only me, I feel like.
No, it's not just only you. It's everybody. Because here's the thing, right? I'm going to interrupt you for a second. I just get
let
these.
you finish?
You may have seen. Yes, I'm gonna let you finish. You may have seen this meme on the internet, and it says something about how I don't mean to interrupt. I just have these thoughts, and I can't hold them in.
No, I think
But
this...
it is. I'm like, oh, that's a cool thought. I gotta say it. Like,
And this goes back to your arrogance problem where you think that people want to hear your cool thoughts.
true. Hey, we're on the fucking internet talking about our relationship, okay? And there's people watching us.
A lot of people watching us.
How do you think this feeds into that?
I'm not saying, I'm just saying, I watched your beer chat on Sunday, and we are having way more interaction on this one than you do on your... I'm just saying. People want to know what we have to say about ourselves.
It's true, but it's 90% people that know us.
If you have a memory like me and Bob, if you can't... Well, then maybe
Exactly.
it wasn't that important.
Thank you. I have to get it out of my mouth before I forget.
It's not that important then. If you're going to forget it quick, it's not that important. Have you ever been checked for ADD? Bobby?
Have I ever? No, I haven't.
I don't think he stays pretty well focused on things. He just ignores the world around him because it's Bobby's world.
Because
Like the cartoon.
Because in my mind, again, because admittedly a little bit arrogant, what I have to say is so funny or so important that I just blurt it out.
It's like I'm watching Riverdale.
And it can't
It's like the
wait.
Gargoyle King. Yeah, he's like the ruler. He has to be, everyone must hear all of his words. So, I mean, we will literally be talking, I'll be talking with, like your mom and sister about, I don't know, anything. And then he'll just, with like a thought from 4 minutes ago in the conversation. Thank you. I was talking. So, I mean, you interrupt me all the time.
No, Meredith, it really is because I think what I have to say is important oftentimes.
Yes. Yes. So you interrupt me all the time, and it makes me absolutely crazy, but I love you anyway. I do. We have 6 minutes, so I don't want to like...
Well, we don't. It's our show. We can do whatever the hell we want.
We can. Keep going.
Lucas is asleep. It's fine. If we're an hour and 15 minutes, whatever. Okay, my number 5 is that you oftentimes take things that are just simply statements about things personally.
I do.
I will say something like, oh, we need to empty the dishwasher later. Because it's full. It's just a fact. It's full. The thing is on. It's clean. We just need to empty it. And somehow you interpret that as me saying, well, you need to
Take care of
empty
our
the
house.
dishwasher,
You need to
you
take...
lazy bad wife.
Yes. Yeah, you lazy bad wife. Yes, that's exactly what I hear in my head. Yes.
PP India butt.
Both of you. That's interesting.
Wow, rude, bro.
That's an interesting thing to say. Thank you. Anyway, yes, it's what are you doing? Oh, he's doing things. So I have to talk, fill some time, make stuff up, pull stuff out of my ass. Yes, I do, and I think, and Meredith I think is right in the chat that it is anxiety driven for sure.
Okay, well, I won't ban you if you stop talking about my fat belly and pee. Okay, well, I won't ban you if you stop talking about my...
Live show, friends. Yes. So and this was, it's always been bad. Like this is I always take things personally. I always have, because I'm a people pleaser, like by nature. Like this, I need to make sure everyone around me is happy before I'm happy, which I think is a problem for many people that I am friends with. But if it's like, oh, bathroom's so gross. Oh, it's empty dishwasher. Oh my gosh. Blech.
And there,
Raw milk.
in my mind, my intention of saying those things are literally just statements about things.
Yes. Right. Defensive for sure. Yes. And I mean, it was definitely heightened in the from about December 3rd, give or take, Lucas's birthday, till about, I don't know, a month or two ago. Like my postpartum anxiety was like through the roof. So anything that he was just saying, just flippantly saying, I was like, well, I don't have time for that. I'm just trying to be a mom. Like, I mean, it's just crazy town. So yes, I understand. I take things very personally, and I'm working on it. I'm trying to not do that so much. Yes, hormones are nuts. And not even just like pregnancy and postpartum. I mean, like, females have hormones, man. We're not doing a whole show about that. That's not what this is about. But yes, hormones make us do crazy things and make our worst sides come out. So I don't know. Do you want me to add anything else about that?
No, I don't think so.
See, listen to that. That whole thing was his thing, and I got defensive about it and like took over the whole thing. This is what he's talking about.
But I love you anyway.
So he doesn't have more than 5 things.
I could come up with a few little things.
But I am gonna move on to my number 6, because I think it can be both of our number 6. You're so loud. And I feel like that's...
I don't know what you're talking about.
And he also tells me that I'm super loud. Here's the difference. I grew up in a household where no one told me I was being loud because they couldn't hear me. What's your excuse?
Okay, my mom, you can ask my mom about this the next time you see her. She has been told my entire life, from the moment I could talk to people that were not my family, that my voice just carries. It's super loud. I don't know why. It's just apparently how it was.
Anyway. Yes, so he's okay, so maybe this is so I'm an introvert, and we'll go shopping. Back when we could go shopping, remember those times? That was fun. When we could go into stores and we'd be looking for something, and I always want to try and find it myself. Like, I never want to ask for help. I never want to address the sale. I just want to just leave me alone. Let me shop. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Let me shop. But when I go with him, he's like, oh, well, don't you need that thing in that size? And don't you? And it's like, shh, stop talking. Like, stop. Don't call attention to us. No. So, that's one example.
I think it is. My voice just carries. It's not like an Austin Powers thing where it's like sometimes I have trouble controlling the volume of my voice. It's not like that, you know.
If you wake up that child.
I know.
His room is right there. If you wake up that child, you're going to go deal with it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. And then we'll end the show because he has to crawl across and it's going to be...
It's okay. Don't worry. This is a fairly good mic and I have a compressor on so it's not like blow anyone's ears out.
I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about that.
Oh, right. I didn't realize you were worried about him. Yes.
Yeah, right.
But yes, we're both very loud. And that's because you, and I know you already said this, but I'm going to reiterate, grew up in a house where nobody could hear you and nobody could tell you that you were being loud.
Mm-hmm. And I am loud. I do recognize that. I'm trying to get better about that. It doesn't really help, though, when your husband's like, oh my gosh, something about your voice today, like, it just hurts my ears.
I don't know how else to put it. There's something, every once in a while, the tone at which your voice hits my ear for some weird reason causes like this ringing.
But you love me anyway.
I do.
It causes you physical pain, but you're cool with that? Like, what? don't even know. I can't. Oh, there we go. I can't read it when it's because you're wearing a busy shirt, so I can't read the chat on the screen.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
I should put a background behind it, or.
Oh, you're fine. No, it's totally fine. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything that's cool. Yeah, I know. It's. When I get going on something, the voice takes off, for sure. So you're really loud, but I love you anyway.
Thanks. You're also really loud, but I love you anyway.
Yeah. Do you want me to do my last one, or should we just...
Sure, just go to last. Sure, might as well. You have one more written down. It's
uno
fine.
mas. And I know I'm not alone.
Whatever, who cares that we're two... Whatever, it's fine. We planned to go for an hour, but whatever. If
it won't be much
chatting
longer.
Or we have more stuff. Who cares?
Whatever. Actually, it won't be much longer. Let me just say, because I'm going to go on a tangent. As I said, it's not going to be much longer. Minnesotans can't say goodbye. Ever. Right? Here's the other problem. Neither can deaf people. So when you have a Minnesotan who grew up around deaf people, I don't know what goodbye means. I don't understand. Like, we have online meetings with my team at work of interpreters and deaf and hard of hearing teachers. And I was like, okay, all right, well, that's the end of the meeting. 5 minutes later, oh, okay, see you tomorrow. Okay, part of that could just be that we miss each other, but also we just don't know how to say goodbye. Which makes him crazy. That's the added step, and that he has...
I'm also not a Minnesota native, right?
He's a transplant.
That to me is a little bit odd.
We do, Carly. We miss each other a lot of it. There's no little bit about it. A lot of it. But the last thing I have written down is that oftentimes, like daily, I'll be like, oh my gosh, so we should do this thing. And then we're done with that thing. We should do this other thing. Cool. Okay, sure. 20 minutes later. Hey, why don't we do that thing? I literally just said that. I can't tell you how many times in a day I say, I literally just said that. Because, so he takes my ideas and makes them his own. And I know that I'm not alone in this world. Like, this is a thing that happens.
Because it's better when I say it.
Arrogant. Arrogant. Timon and Pumbaa. It's just...
Wait, am I Timon or Pumbaa? Which one of us is which?
You have to ask. I don't know. I actually don't even know either. Please tell me. Please enlighten us. But yes, it's...
Which one of us are you calling a fat warthog?
When I was a young warthog. Sorry. Timon always takes Pumbaa's ideas. Got it.
I'm taller than you.
And?
I don't know.
You're Asian. So
Timon
is that an accomplishment? Is that an accomplishment?
It is. It's very much an accomplishment to be almost 6 feet tall in an Asian person.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
And Andy can blame you for that one.
It's true.
Because you're using his account. But yes, that's the... So you don't listen to me, and you repeat things that I say 25 to 4 hours later, and it makes me insane, but I love you anyway. So, on that note...
So what was the point of all of this? What was the point of us going over these things that we hate about each other, but love each other anyway? Yes, okay, partly to be entertaining, yes. But also because the point, going back to my whole theory of how do I know that I found the right person, isn't anything to do with, oh, there's all these great things about them. It's, here are the things that I like about this person, but I really know that these are the things I hate about this person, and I'm willing to love them and put up with them for the rest of my life despite all of that, right?
Yep.
And again, that's one of those things that, like, if I knew you were as messy as you were when we first started dating, would I maybe not? I don't know, right? But it's one of those things that over the years, over the course of 16 and a half years, we've had all of these things happen and all of these good things that have built up, right, that way outweigh some of the annoying things that we hate about each other.
Right.
That's my whole point, is that before you decide, well, I think a lot of the people that are hanging out with us are married couples anyway, but for any single people out there, for anyone who's wondering about this, should I get married? Is this the right person, right? Know all the things that you absolutely fucking hate about this person, but you love them anyway. That's the message.
Right. I'm just checking to see if we had
if there's any questions.
Anything came up in the social media world. No one asked anything on social media, which is fine. I just wanted to double check that I don't see anything. What did I miss, Meredith? I don't...
Check my most recent one.
Was it on my Instagram thing or Facebook? I don't even know.
I don't know. Just ask it in here. Okay, so if people want to ask questions, great, cool, whatever. We're not going to talk about sex. Let's not talk about sex.
Baby.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I didn't get anything. Was it on Facebook or on Instagram? Because I didn't get anything. I got one question from a friend who asked me an inside joke. But I didn't see anything on my Instagram. Shoot, let me see if I can look at my... Let me look. Hold
Sid was
please.
asking, did you find it true the part you loved about them becomes the thing you hate? So is there anything you loved about me there's now something you don't like?
I don't know. But I loved about...
I don't know that there's anything that I really at first liked about you and then it became like annoying or something I don't like.
No, I don't know.
I think all of the things, I mean, we've obviously, our relationship has evolved over the years. We as a couple have evolved. We as people have evolved. I don't know that there's anything that I've grown to dislike about you that I once liked.
Okay, so I don't think I know how to use Instagram because...
initially when people meet and are attracted to them, that flips becomes something they hate. Okay. Oh, okay. Attracted to confidence are now considered arrogance.
Oh,
I don't know that I was that arrogant back in college. I don't know that I had the
We were intoxicated a lot, so I'm not really sure.
And also, like, so because she brought it up in the question, and because you brought it up in the things that you hate about me, right? Like, let's use arrogance as a thing,
Sure.
right? I don't know that I was arrogant back in college. I mean, to the extent that I am now, right? I think my career in sales really sort of brought that out in me because it really is all about like charisma and talking to people and, quite frankly, arguing with people, right? Good salespeople argue with people.
They do.
That's what we do for a living.
I don't know why I didn't get any, I didn't get any notifications that I had any questions from my stories, which is weird because I've done I feel like they would have told me that I had questions. I didn't.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, it's annoying because. But so she's at one of the questions is, what free time things do we agree on, and what things do we like to do together?
Oh, can we backtrack to that? Okay, so one of the things that I wrote down in my notes, I have show notes here on my other monitor.
Because he's fancy.
One of the things that I really do appreciate is that when I started this whole new adventure
Yeah.
a whole week and a half ago, you decided, I mean, sort of jokingly, right? I put it on social media. You sort of jokingly said, hey, you should have your wife on there.
I did say that.
And I kind of just laughed it off. And then at one point I was like, well, I've been thinking about content. What do I do? And then this idea came to me. And I was like, hey, do you actually want to be on Twitch? We could figure something out to do.
That's a different
And so I really do appreciate that you wanted to come try this out and come do this.
Yeah.
So.
It was really hard for us to find a topic, to narrow it because we've been so much has happened. Here's the thing. I'm sure there are people watching right now, friends of our beer, something.
That's something that we enjoy together. Craft beer.
Well, not just drinking it together, but we also have like a whole group of friends.
Going
that
to
is-
breweries, hanging out with our friends. Yes.
Hi, friends.
Not just we're alcoholics and we like getting drunk together. Like, no.
Friends that we like wholeheartedly miss a ton because we used to get together weekly.
And me.
Yes, Meredith. And like we would, go to breweries once a week, do a Black Stack Taco Tuesday, like almost every week.
Oh, it's Taco Tuesday.
It is
no,
not.
It's
It's
Taco
Wednesday.
Tuesday. We had Taco Tuesday. Damn it.
It's not Tuesday. It's
Hey,
Wednesday.
when's Taco Tuesday, calendar lady?
When is Taco Tuesday?
I'm kidding, it's not today.
On Tuesday. But
Yeah,
that's a
which is
weird-
not today.
No, it was yesterday.
That was my point. Sorry, dumb joke.
You're weird. Yes, so craft beer, I think, would be one of our mutual interests.
Mm-hmm.
Going to events, going to beer tastings, beer festivals, and now that I can, now that I'm not pregnant, we went to a couple last year that we had bought tickets for before I got pregnant, and we went, and it was not that super exciting for me, but whatever. I got to smell lots of beer.
Yeah. There are some shows, we mentioned this earlier, there are some shows that we really like to watch together, except most of them get canceled, which is kind of a
TV
bummer.
shows, yes.
TV shows, yeah.
Yes. What else?
Said we had tacos tonight, too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We, like I said, we've done volleyball together. Here's the problem.
That was fun. I missed that.
Here's the problem. And this is something I have asked him to run with me for so many years. Where I am not, maybe I am a little bit competitive. He's way competitive. And so, like, if we were to do something like sports or some kind of physical, like running together, it would be a nightmare because I would start to hate him and hate the activity, and then I would just quit, and he would keep going, and he would get really good at it, and he would lose like 28,000 pounds. That's not really.
There's a picture. I'm gonna find it. Keep talking.
He's gonna find the picture. So that's a big, like, reason. That's a big struggle. Is like a lot of people enjoy doing things like that together, activities, sports, things like that. We hang out together. It's a lot of times it's in groups of people. Craft beer. At one point it was cars. I was not interested in the cars, but but that's how we've met some of our closest friends. Oh, I just got covered up.
No, you didn't get covered up on the stream, but
The
you're
screen
about
got covered. Okay.
Because I'm going to share my browser with
He's
the
going to
screen.
share a graphic. It's going to be great.
It is. And this describes my type A-ness to a T. And in that anything I do, I just go berserk with. And it's a problem that I have where I become so competitive and I have to be the absolute best at it, and it drives people nuts.
Yep. Like me. It drives me nuts. Yes. So yes, that's Bobby has always wanted to try curling. We have yet to do that.
Yes, I want to do curling.
He wants to do curling. And yeah, that's something we've talked about doing. Because when our volleyball thing ended, due to nobody, like the place we were going was not having it anymore. We had talked about curling, and then we never followed up on it. So maybe we will at some point.
Yeah,
do that.
But again, you can see like we're kind of struggling with things that we actually like to do. I mean, we enjoy each other's company. We like hanging out with our friends.
Mm-hmm.
We like doing things.
Mm-hmm.
But
We
as
like
far
each
as
other.
like activities that we both mutually are like, yeah, let's go do that. It's borderline embarrassing to admit.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean, yes, vacations. Ugh, I miss vacations.
Yes, Vegas.
Vegas. I want to go back to Vegas. Vegas was very good luck for us the last time we went there. So, you know.
As in, we conceived a child.
As in, now we have a
Yes.
5-month-old, almost 6-month-old child. But I love Vegas. I would love to go back there again. And doing it with friends was fun because it's the kind of place where you can like do your own thing and then be with friends too. I just love Vegas. It's so great. So great. Yes, Justin, obviously. Like when we can all do this again, and maybe Kathy and Kate will join us if they're watching. Calling you out. Yeah, I think any other questions? Because please keep sending us stuff that you want us to talk about because we'll keep doing this. Like we won't just, this is not it.
And we'll come up with other things to talk about, and it'll be, I will at least try to incorporate something at least somewhat academic and relevant to something that might actually apply to people, that sounds at least somewhat intelligent rather than just like, hey, we had this idea of...
on a whim.
Yeah.
Let's talk about ourselves. So, yeah. I see other things in your show notes. Did you want to add more information? Under number 5?
No, other than that, I think, just let us know if you have any thoughts or things we should talk about or things that, especially if you know us and you're like, oh, you guys do this all the time, or like, why don't you talk about that thing that happened to you guys? There are a lot of like personal things that we would maybe talk about, some things that we need to ask, other people in our lives about because it involves people that aren't just, just the two of us. So, but we may talk about those things in the future. Again, definitely, absolutely not going to talk about sex. No, thank you.
I mean, even though we literally just talked about conceiving our child.
Well, okay, but like, at no point in time did we ever in school talk about sexual therapy and like. No, not going there.
Not doing that.
No Kama Sutra. No, especially because I'm sure all this stuff's against terms of service anyway. So
weirdo. And we've got a lot of things to choose from, and more often than not, we will laugh, but we may also.
It absolutely is, Sydney. It's just not something that we ever talked about in school. It absolutely is a very valid thing and something that a lot of couples need for sure.
Can I finish?
What?
We will probably discuss some relatively serious topics because we have been through a lot of things. But
yeah,
but we'll always try and make it enjoyable for you to tune in and not and serious topics should be discussed whether they're hard to listen to or not. You can just choose not to tune in if it's a subject that triggers you in any way because those will come up. We've been through if you know us, we've been through a lot of things that maybe you're not ready to hear about, and that's okay. Just don't tune in that week, or tune in later when you can. Are you going to upload this later?
Yeah.
Okay.
This will be on YouTube if anyone wants to see
yes. This will be on YouTube.
I forgot to turn the captions on,
cool.
So I apologize. In the future, I will try to remember it. Somewhere over here, there should be a little like doobly-doo that says CC, and that should turn on closed captions. Only I have to open up the widget or whatever you want to call it in a web browser, and I forgot to do that.
He's making me look real bad right now. Because I'm all about accessibility, and this has not been accessible. So, he's going to upload this into YouTube, and I will caption it and possibly interpret it. We'll see. So, yeah.
Other than that, thanks for hanging out with us, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. A couple of other notes, because there are some people in here that have already done this. There's a lot of you that have... I started this adventure, a week and a half ago was the first time I started just kind of dinking around with Magic the Gathering Live. And so in that week and a half, I've gone from, hey, let me just try this out, to, oh my God, I panic bought a $100 microphone because my local state representative was coming on to talk about beer laws. And in that time, I have now gone from that to the Twitch affiliate level. And a lot of that is thanks to you guys. And so I really appreciate that. In fact, there's a couple of people that have already subscribed to the channel. So again, I really appreciate that. Andy, Carly, you guys are in here. Justin, you're in here. James isn't. I don't think he's in here. But again, we really appreciate that, or I really appreciate that. This is brand new to me, and so I really appreciate the support.
Yeah, I'm super stoked that we have people who are checking in and
Mara
doing
says she'll
things.
subscribe for this. And remember, if you have Amazon, you can do it for free if you do Twitch Prime.
Ooh. Yeah, we don't know what our topic is yet for next week, but if you are following us on social media, on On Facebook, we are just our names. Sarah Flew, Bobby Flew, PFLUGH, Pufflug.
Twitter, my Twitter information
I don't have
is somewhere
Twitter.
down there. I think it's IPEE a lot. Because IP_a lot was taken, so whatever.
I don't have Twitter. I am on Instagram.
Flew the coop. Yeah, no.
Yeah, right. Yay, Kathy! Sorry, I just got a note that she is watching and she's gonna go on vacation with us. My Instagram is Sarah with an H E for Elizabeth E Flew on Instagram. So feel free to.
Good night, Sydney. Thanks for stopping by.
And Bobby doesn't have Instagram because he's not as cool. So feel free to.
I didn't have a Twitter account until a week and a half ago.
That's not cool. Either of us questions, topic ideas. At some point, we'll probably also be inviting others to join us because we might run out of things to talk about at some point in time. Because there are people out here who have probably been married longer than us, and so we're going to run out of content eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
there's
all.
only so much bad shit that's happened to us in 16 years.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it, man. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning into our fun little endeavor, and we'll hopefully see you all again next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central
night.
Standard Time. Bye.